First, I'd like to point out that I was in Albany for the past, actually 3 days, but 2 days in the Assembly, in the Senate, dealing with some other issues. And Assemblyman Scartatos came over and talked to me all about what was going on in the sales tax. Assemblyman Lopez came over and talked to me all about what was going on in the sales tax. The only person who never came over to ask me how I felt, what I thought, and what the impact would be was Assemblyman Cahill. So I know everything that's going on because of the other two Assembly people who were here trying to help us, and the person who's trying to amend it never came over to talk. Now, let's really be very, very frank. By him trying to take the election inspection takeover to the county, or the safety net takeover, it does help a town. Don't you think he'd want to talk to me as a supervisor and say, Susan, what I'm trying to do could help you? Is this good for you? Is this bad for you? Never once was there a conversation. Like Mayor Gallo said, never once a phone call, never once a conversation. Now, we also get a percentage, don't remember, the towns get a percentage of the sales tax too. So you're taking away my sales tax, but you're saying you're gonna give me over here, or you're not gonna do this or that. Why don't you call and ask me what we think? The Supervisor Association, we meet every single month. We talk about the safety net all the time. We talk about the election takeover all the time. County Executive Michael Hein comes to those meetings every month. He talks to us about what we think, how we feel, how we could work together. There's a conversation going on. This is government by destruction. This is why the state is considered so dysfunctional. So here you have the last ticking hours of the session. I was there yesterday. They had 187 bills that they were going to discuss. I think it was 187 bills. Some of them really, really meaty bills. And they're going to figure that out in a day and a half, 2 days, and then they're going to figure out our tax, what's happening with us. It's really horrific. This is not how you do government. You work together, you plan. The taxpayers are the ones who really actually end up suffering from every decision we make. And ultimately, what I want to end by saying is, I don't know what it is. I wanted to say I had the idea in my head, but this is just not the way to do things. It's just not the way to do things. And again, Assemblyman Cahill is not talking to anybody. He's not calling anybody. He's trying to make decisions. He doesn't know the impact, if it's going to hurt us, help us. And so it's really, really, this is bad politics. It's bad policy. It's bad governance. And again, I thank all of us that are here today together. And I know what I wanted to say. Let me tell you, we might meet again in November. I've been down this road before with the fracking people, when maybe would there be a special session in November? They don't do special session if they don't have to do one. So, maybe they'll do it, maybe they won't. That's not a guarantee, it's not scheduled, they don't like to do it costs money. And if you're willing to do it in November, why aren't you doing it today? So please, explain to me, why, if you can't, you'll take it back in November, why aren't you doing it today, and why do we have to lose potentially $8 million while you contemplate what the right thing is to do? You know what the right thing is to do. Get out of the way, let Assemblyman Scartatos put his bill in like he did, let it get passed, and let us move on. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now, there is still time for action. That's the one piece of good news to take away from today, in addition to the fact that you see a unified, bipartisan, multi-government level group of people together simply calling for the same thing. The continuation of the current sales tax to be able to protect the property taxpayers of Ulster County and continue the fiscal health in our towns, city, and county. This is about progress. This is about protecting our communities. This is about moving forward. And so we all call upon Assemblyman Cahill to take action and align with Assemblymember Scartatos, to take action and align with Senator Kachik, with Senator Larkin, and move forward the sales tax continuation so that we can protect the property taxpayers of Ulster County. And with that, I'd like to open it up to any questions.
I'm confused. Is it
And Assemblymember Lopez too. Excuse me?
Is it 1%? Is it 4%? What's at stake?
Sale, 1%. See, what happens is, it's 4 and 4.
1% out of the 4, right?
4 and 4.
And then 1% is
One-
$22 million?
$22 million.
But you would still have the other 3% you would be drawing collected tax with?
It's a reduction of $22 million.
Reduction of 1%, $22 million.
And that's broken up over a specific percentage to the city of Kingston, specific percentage shared among the towns, and obviously the line shared to the county.
It's about $3 million for us, right?
About $3 million impact to the city of Kingston. But again, the other driving force is there are towns who are relying upon the county to continue this 3-year takeover of safety net, and that's clearly at risk.
How many similar proposals are hung up in the legislature along with Ulster County?
Well, it's important to understand, if you're asking me what's been voted upon, or what is being held hostage, there's a very big difference between the two.
How many are being held hostage?
Only one that I know of.
And
Aren't we lucky?
and
The slogan of the Pittman's Ulster County, it happens here.
It's been sort of danced around, but I want somebody to state it clearly, if they will.
Sure.
What is Kevin Cahill's
motivation in this? What do you think the motivation
I
is?
think you have to speak to his representatives who are here today.
You're here, I'm asking you.
I don't know his, I don't know why
Do you
anybody.
think it's political?
Again, I
Do you think
can't
it's,
speak to
bad
why
blood between you and him?
Again,
or-
I stand ready, willing, and able to work with anybody who wants to work for the 183,000 people
When was the
of
last
Ulster
time you
County.
called him on this issue?
2 days ago.
Did you speak to him
Direct-
personally?
Yes.
And what was his response?
Again, his response at this point is he's not moving off this perspective.
How much would the county lose if the county were to go with his proposal? What would that proposal cost you if that's what you had to do to get it through?
Well, first and foremost, if we go with his perspective, depending on which one they are, if it costs the full safety net takeover in 1 year, because there's multiple proposals out
He's
there.
got 3 proposals?
Right, if it's the full safety net takeover, or if it's future action, and it's important that we really highlight something. This is not about the county executive's office. The county legislature has acted unanimously, creating policy for Ulster County. And this is the assemblyman
Yeah.
basically turning aside the unanimous vote of the Ulster County legislature twice.
And it's,
You haven't answered the
it's
question.
at.
How
no.
much would it cost Ulster County if you win?
Depends on which depends on which program, I'll get you all of them. We'll get you all of them.
And Paul, it's our responsibility as a legislature to go and set policy. If, for some reason, the assemblyman suddenly wants to be an Ulster County legislator again, I'm sure he can, run for the office if he so chose. But it's our responsibility as a legislature to go and make these decisions. And as I said in my comments, we are working right now with the towns on the next third of safety net.
Seems that the state legislature is presently involved in the process, though, right?
They've decided to become involved in the process.
It's one representative that has decided.
Right.
We don't know the reason.
Yeah, we'll have to.
One of the things that is possible in both the Assembly and in the Senate is one of the things that is possible in the Assembly and the Senate is a high-ranking member with extensive tenure has the capacity to be able to block particular bills just like this. Assemblymember Skartatos has brought forward a bill that is an exact match to Senator Katchick's and Senator Larkin's.
But Paul, I think a more important thing, Michael, when did the legislation get put in?
6 weeks ago.
No, but the legislation, the Assemblyman just put in the 3 different choices
4 days ago?
4 days
Oh,
ago.
that was-
Okay,
yeah.
yeah, the
4 days ago, 5 days
So
ago?
how many, well, how long, so Assemblyman Skartatos put it in when?
February 20th.
Okay, so February 20th, the legislation was put in, but yet 4 days ago, new legislation was put in that has financial implications, that has to be analyzed, assessed, looking at the impact on the towns, looking at the impacts on the county, and then the legislature has to convene meetings to decide policy-wise. So how could you even expect an answer within 4 days on a situation like this when there's so many impacts on so many levels? So therefore, at the end of the day, this is not trying to create sound policy.
And he didn't contact or consult anybody in the preparation of those 3 alternatives?
He has,
Not that I'm aware of.
No.
Not-
nobody, and like
Only
again,
mayor.
I was in Albany for 3 days, in the afternoon on Monday, and yesterday and the day before, I was sitting in the assembly for 2 days, sitting there. Assemblyman Lopez came over and talked to me about what's going on. Assemblyman Skartatos came over and talked to me about what's going on. Never once did Assemblyman Cahill come over and say, what do you think, how do you feel, you're a supervisor, this could potentially help you, what you thought. He never even had a conversation with me. So, I only knew what was going on when I got the phone call today because of Assemblyman
Let me just
Skartatos.
flip the situation. Did you go to him?
I wasn't there to see Kevin on the safety net, and I wasn't really in the loop on behalf
How
of it.
much time is left, Mike?
1 day.
1 day.
Today.
Yeah, Paul, I think.
They may very well meet tomorrow as well.
Also, I just want to emphasize
Well, maybe.
that
It's
the
right, it's maybe.
legislature unanimously at Tuesday night session,
Right.
sent
Ulster
up
County.
another resolution.
Hand delivered.
Hand
Yeah, second
delivered,
one,
it was the
second unanimous one.
second one, asking him to please support a home rule request. You know, we don't get an opportunity to sit down with, Assemblyman Cahill and say, look it, we don't like the mandates you're passing on down here, why don't you vote no? He's voted yes on every state budget that
When it
ever
cuts to
came
state
out.
aid.
That's keeps sending mandates down here to Ulster County, and he's trying to tell us how legislators, 23 of us, should spend our money.
So what do you think taxpayers of Ulster County should do to encourage Mr.
We
Cahill?
encourage each and every one of them to reach out to his office and encourage him to simply allow the sales tax, which is borne by visitors and residents, to be able to continue in its current level to offset property taxes.
Put a different way, we're asking him to allow a vote, to allow democracy to happen. We're not asking him to vote for it when it comes up for a vote. All we're asking for is a vote.
Just to put a perspective, Paul, your question with respect to the motivation, I think it's unfair to ask us. I think supervisors in it put it in perspective. February, okay, the word was out with Scartotos. We find out 4 days ago. I found out as a result of city representatives contacting me, making statements at recent meetings, discussions I had with the county executive's office with Michael and other town officials. So it